I repeat, when I say step of x, we call it as step of x, okay? When I say step of x, it means that it is the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Understand? Which means that again, greatest integer function rounds off step x value to the nearest integer. What is the meaning of this one? Let us try to understand. Greatest integer less than or equal to x, which means that if I want to calculate step of, in fact, GF rounds off, I'll write it like this, any real value. Step of 1.25. When I say step of 1.25, the meaning of this one is, it represents greatest integer less than or equal to 1.25. Can you tell me the greatest integer which is less than or equal to 1.25? 1. Less than or equal to. Understand? So that's what I was trying to say here. Greatest integer function rounds off 1. Understood? Similarly, when I write 1.999, what is the value of this one? 1. Greatest integer less than or equal to. Understood? Greatest integer less than or equal to. That means integer which is less than or equal to 1.99 is obviously 1. So which means that logically if you take any value 1 or more than 1 and less than 2, the step of that value will be equal to 1. Can I say it something like that? That is, when I say something like this, when x is greater than or equal to 1, and of course, what is the greatest integer of 1? 1. So, greatest integer less than or equal to 1, which is equal to 1 only, isn't it? So, if x is lying between 1 to 2, is it visible to? You can sit here. No problem. When x is lying between 1 to 2, closed 1, open 2, in this case, step of x value will be equal to 1. Understood? I hope this is clear to everyone. Now tell me, when I write step of minus 1.25, what will be the value of step of minus 1.25? You should not write it as minus 1. You should write it as minus 2. I said greatest integer less than or equal to. So which is the integer less than minus 1.25? Minus 2 obviously. More negative, more less, isn't it? Sir, it can be decimal like 1.25. Step of 1.25. Should be integer, not decimal. Okay. Third, greatest integer function always gives output as integers. That's why it is called as greatest integer. Please make it very clear. Understand? See, step function is always an integer. When I write step of x, it is an integer. Understood? It will not give you decimal values. That's why we are calling it as greatest integer function. If you input any real number here, the output will be always an integer. Clear? So when I write step of minus 1.25, I hope you understood it is minus 2. Similarly, when I write step of minus 1.01, what is the answer? Still it is minus 2. I hope this is clear to everyone. So this is the meaning of greatest integer function or step function or floor function. It is nothing but it is the greatest integer less than or equal to x. So greatest integer function rounds off any real number or any real value to the nearest integer less than to the given number. Okay. Rounds off any real value to the nearest integer less than or equal to the given number. Clear my point? So more clearly, you tell me now. Let us try to define this greatest integer function more clearly. When I say x is lying between closed 0 to open 1, either 0 or 0 point anything which is less than 1, what will be step x value? 0. Is it correct? That is a definition, right? 1 less than or equal to x less than 2. What will be step x value? 1. And similarly, if x is lying between 2 to 3, what will be step x value? 2. Similarly, if x is lying between -1 to 0, -1 closed, open 0, what is step x value? -1. Correct? Now, if x is lying between -2 closed to -1 open, step x value will be -2. So, like that, it will be continued. Is it correct? For all real numbers. So, I hope you understood if x is lying between closed 0 to open 1, it is equals to 0, which means that one more important point here. What will be step of n value? If n is an integer, it will be again integer only. Isn't it? Step of integer is integer. Even if it is 0, step value is 0. Between 0 and 1 also it is 0. If it is exactly equal to 1, step value is 1. If it is 1 point something, step value is also 1. Understood? Now, one more thing. What is the domain of step function? Of course, it is defined for all real numbers, right? See, it is defined for all real numbers. Now, what about range? Just now I told you. What is the range of greatest integer function? It will always give integers. Set. Understood? What is the meaning of set? Z?